Fish and Chums!
Hi everybody, Gary Heidrich here for this week's fishing report from out here at the old fishing shack. And here we are, the third week of July already. Isn't that crazy? Boy, this year is buzzing by. Tuffy's here with me, and we got a good report for you out at Table Rock. One word, one lure I want to turn you on to, and that is the Ned rig. The Ned rig is really paying off. We'll be talking about this. Out at Bull Shoals, boy, there's been some big stripers caught. We got some nice photos for you on this. Yes, Bull Shoals, big stripers. Out at Stockton, hey, you know, not a lot of people fishing right now, but summer walleye fishing. Some nice walleye caught this week. Over at Truman, I tell you what, they've had some rain out there. I've heard anywhere from 3 to over 6 inches of rain. That's going to change the fishing this weekend. But I tell you what, the last few days there's been some good fishing taking place. I'm talking about nice big old crappie. We've had good reports on blue cats, hybrids up on the humps, and some good walleye fishing out there as well. So we've got a lot to talk about today. All right, let's go to Table Rock. As kind of a broken record here. Of course, the first hour and a half in the morning, topwater fishing is good or spotty. You kind of mix it up a little bit. Some days it's good, some days it's not. But if you can pick an overcast day, they'll stay up. They're a little bit more aggressive, and they'll stay up sometimes longer. But on the clear days, quiet days, they may just swipe at that bait. They just really don't want it. So the topwater baits that's working this week at Table Rock would be your whopper plopper, your spook, your junior spook, and they've been picking up some fish on pop R's, a little something more subtle. But if they're not hitting it, they're just swiping it, as I mentioned on the last couple of weeks on the program, go to some backup baits. You know, go to a grub, either a salt and pepper grub or a smoke-colored grub with like a 1/4 ounce jig head. Pitch that out, count it down to about 10, swim it back in. Or, as I mentioned, these underspins work real well for that. Try that. And one other tip for schooling largemouth or bass, I should say, would be the square-billed crankbait. You bet, a small square bill. And you can throw that into those schooling fish when they're not really wanting that topwater bait, and they will hit that square-bill crankbait, that's for sure. And you went down, buddy? Okay, buddy. Okay, other than that, the same old thing. When the sun gets out, you're going to have to go out on the big runs. You're going to have to go out on the humps, the flats, the big long gravel points, and look for bass. Look for shad. That's going to be the key. Use your electronics. And this is when you want to go your drop shot. Everybody knows that. Spoons. And but the Ned rig is really coming on this week at Table Rock. If they're not wanting that drop shot, they're kind of finicky, go to the Ned rig. I tell you what, that's the best finesse bait I can think of. And so get out there with that Ned rig. You're going to catch fish. Again, the long gravel points, anywhere 12, 15, 24, 35 feet of water. Use your electronics. The humps, the flats, find your shad. Use that Ned rig. You'll catch fish. Okay, other than that, at Table Rock, there's been some nice walleye caught this week. And I tell you what, a bait to use is the flicker shad or the flicker minnow, the number 9, something that will get down there. And what I like is this particular color right here. This is my favorite flicker shad or flicker minnow color. It's got a little bit of turquoise blue, and you got some chartreuse in it and white. And this bait will get down 18 to 23 feet of water. And that's what you need to do to get down and get those walleye at Table Rock, because they are going deeper. And so try the points, try the flats. Might pick yourself up some walleye this weekend at Table Rock. Okay, let's go over to Taneycomo right quick. They're not running too much water in the morning. It seems like they're turning a couple, 2 or 3 generators on late morning, around noon, 11 noon, up until maybe 1 o'clock. They're running it through the afternoon. So drift fishing, power eggs, chartreuse was good the last few days, but it's been white and orange. And they've been picking up some fish on that small jig. I love that small 32nd ounce olive green or brown jig. Boy, that will catch you some fish. And they've been catching some fish on spoons too, little Cleo spoons. And they've been doing some jerkbait fishing as well out at Taneycomo. Okay, let's go out to Bull Shoals. I tell you, Jesse Cochran was out the other day, just a few days, 2 or 3 days ago, and look at this. Look at these fish he caught. Look at these 2 big stripers. My gosh, beautiful, beautiful fish. And Jesse, good going. Man, there's been some nice stripers caught out there. And the walleye fishing's picking up in that summer pattern. Same thing as table rock. You want to go to your deep diving baits, do some trolling for your walleye off the points and off the flats. And of course the flicker shads or the flicker minnows, and some people are putting weights up above those trolling baits and getting down a little bit further. So others are using bottom bouncers with night crawlers at bull shoals, fishing the points, fishing the flats, 25, 30, 35 feet of water. Try this out at bull shoals. Bass fishing's good. I tell you what, in fact, bull shoals have had an exceptional year. There's been good bass fishing all year. The lake had been up, now it's down pretty well normal. Early morning topwater fishing has been consistent. Some people have been going out late evening again. Whopper ploppers are working, your spooks, your junior spooks. Poppars, pretty well like table rock, but they're really catching some quality fish on topwater out at bull shoals. Look at that this weekend. And other than that, they've been fishing the Ned rig. I'd really recommend the Ned rig at bull shoals this weekend off the bluff ends. Also, the big flats, use your drop shots, of course, some spoon fishing out there. I'm telling you, bull shoals looks good for the weekend. Big stripers, some nice walleye, bass. And hey, another thing, if you just want to take a little bit of time and go crappie fishing, there's some nice crappie being caught at bull shoals. Not too many people talking about it, but you want to go to the summer pattern. Of course, get out there and find those brush piles off the bluffs or off the big points. And you know where those brush piles are. Get out there in about 15 to 20, 25 feet of water. Minnows seem to be the best bet. Go with the jig and minnow combination, get that bait a little bit of color, get down right on top and on the edge of those brush piles. I think you can catch some crappie this weekend at the Bull. Okay, at Stockton, look at this night, a tandem guide service out of the Stockton area. They fish a lot of the different lakes. They're a great guide service, and I want to thank them for this next photo because they was out the other day with a party. Look at this nice walleye. You bet they're still catching walleye at Stockton. Thank you to Tandem Guide Service. Beautiful picture, but they've been picking up walleye on the edge of the flats, sometimes not so much on the flats, but on the edge, on the drop-offs, anywhere from 12, 15, 18, 25 feet of water. Some people have been trolling, deep diving baits. Other people are using just kind of a drop shot rig with a night crawler and off the points as well. And the bottom bouncers with night crawlers will work. Get up early, get out there before it gets real hot. I think you'll pick up some walleye, that's for sure. Let's go out to my good old lake, Truman. I love Truman. Again, they had about 3 to 6 inches of rain or a little bit over in some areas of the lake. I used to guide there. I used to live there. So what I do when that happens, instead of going up the Osage or fishing the big creek arms or the river arms, I pull back out and go mid-lake to the lower lake area and do my crappie fishing. And as I said on last week's program, don't be afraid to fish those tree rows. Don't be afraid to get in 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 feet of water. These crappie can go shallow at Truman this time of the year. Minnows have been the best bait overall, or a jig and minnow combination. You might want to put a little color on that, like a pink-headed chartreuse jig, and put a minnow on there, kind of doodle socket. And some brush piles, cedar trees, and on the flats, a little bit shallower right now with that rain. They may be even shallower. Find the brush piles. You'll find some crappie at Truman this upcoming weekend. Out at the humps and the flats, people have really been catching a lot of hybrids this year. This has been a banner year for hybrids. And I want to have a look at this. James Martinez. Big hybrid. He caught several out there this week with several of the guys did, and they're using shad. And if you put a little perch trap out and just go pick yourself up some small perch, boy, those hybrids love those. You want to try this. And Dwayne, look at this nice walleye he caught out at Truman the other day, and really a nice fish, Dwayne. And I tell you what, there's been a lot of walleye caught this summer out at Truman, a lot of walleye, and they're still catching them. And so find the humps, find the points, try the flats, and you can pick them up by trolling, just night crawlers, drop shots with night crawlers, jig and night crawler, however you want to fish it. But boy, there's been some nice walleye caught out at Truman this last few days. This rain's going to change a little bit, and you may want to look below the dam. If they're not running water yet, they're going to be running water below the dam, and that always creates some good fishing as well. Same story out at Lake the Ozarks. The fish are in a summer pattern. Get off the breaks, 15 to 20 feet of water, 23 feet of water. Minnows have been a little bit better than jigs this week, and they've been picking up some fish in the shaded docks as well. Let's go over to North Fork right quick. Boy, I've had good reports the last few days of walleye being caught out there, and off the long points and the edge of the flats, not so much up on the flats. 15 to 25 feet of water. Trolling are also night crawler. Spoons out there is working good. And I had a report there's some nice stripers being caught out at North Fork right now by using the larger spoons, the ounce spoons, getting down there deep water, and you might be able to pick up a big striper as well. Well, it's third week of June already. My golly, we're going to be in August before we know it. We have some good fishing taking place. Get up early, get out on the lake early, take plenty of water, and be sure to like and share our program. And if you have any questions, email us at fishingchums@gmail.com. And also be sure to subscribe. We'll be back next week at this same time. Tell your friends about our little show. We have a lot of fun here talking about all kinds of lakes, all kinds of fish. Have yourself a good upcoming weekend. God bless you. Talk to you next week here on Fish and Chums.